Great day, everyone! It is another day to gain some knowledge. This is Teacher Maricar, and welcome to Camplish.com. Today, we will have the preview of another interesting English information or article from this book, English Reading Basic 5. Let's learn and explore English. Are you ready now? Okay, let's start. Today, we will discuss Unit 14. Let's learn about this passage entitled Wagon Train. Look at the picture. You can see here a man and some animals carrying a wagon. Okay, so I will read it for you, but first, I will read it slowly, so you can get the correct pronunciation of the words here. And after that, you can join me in reading it again. So you have to listen very carefully. Alright, I will start now. When Americans first moved from the eastern coast to the western coast, there were no airplanes, trains, or automobiles. Then, how could they move? They used wagons. Moving from the eastern coast to the western coast was really a long trip. They could meet wild animals or Indians, or they could get lost. Therefore, the travelers traveled together. They traveled in a straight single line. If you saw them, you might think they look like a train. So this group of wagons is called a wagon train. At night, they form a circle with their wagons and took a rest. And now, let's read it again, but faster than the first one. Let's begin. When Americans first moved from the eastern coast to the western coast, there were no airplanes, trains, or automobiles. Then, how could they move? They used wagons. Moving from the eastern coast to the western coast was really a long trip. They could meet wild animals or Indians, or they could get lost. Therefore, the travelers traveled together. They traveled in a straight single line. If you saw them, you might think they look like a train. So this group of wagons is called a wagon train. At night, they form a circle with their wagons and took a rest. Alright, I hope that you got the correct pronunciation of the words. If you have some time, try to read it again to enhance your ability in reading. Did you understand the passage? Good. So let's have some activities here and let's answer it together. Let's answer the first one. Select true or false. So in this activity, we will find out if the sentence is true or false. Are you ready now? So let's start. Number 1. Long ago, Americans moved from the eastern coast to the western coast. Is it true or false? The answer is true. So let's see why this is the answer. Here is the sentence that will support our answer in number 1. When Americans first moved from the eastern coast to the western coast, there were no airplanes, trains, or automobiles. Then number 2, Americans use trains to move to the western coast. Is it true or false? The answer is false. Here. Then how could they move? They use wagons. Moving from the eastern coast to the western coast was really a long trip. And then number 3, the travelers also traveled separately. Is it true or false? The answer is false. Here is the sentence. The travelers traveled together. Now, we've finished the first activity. Before we proceed to the second one, let's learn more vocabulary words first. That will be useful in making your own sentences. Let's look at our word box. In this part, I will read the words and repeat after me. I will start now. Eastern, coast, western, wagon, therefore, traveler, form, and the last one, take a rest. Now, let's go to vocabulary checkup. You can see here blank spaces. So we will find out the missing word by looking at our word box. In this part, I will read it and then I will give you some time to think about the answer. And then we will answer it together. So let's begin. Number 1. He failed the exam. Blank. He had to retake it. Number 2. The blank broke down on the way home. Number 3. There are many blank in Italy. And number 4. She lives in the blank part of the city. So now, let's answer it. What is the answer in number 1? Okay, the answer is therefore. He failed the exam, therefore he had to retake it. How about number 2? The answer is wagon. The wagon broke down on the way home. Then, number 3, the answer is traveler. There are many travelers in Italy. And number 4, the answer here is eastern. She lives in the eastern part of the city. Good. I hope that you got all the correct answers here. So, this is the end of our lesson for today. I hope that you learned something from it. So, if you want to learn more and want to develop your English skills, you are welcome to visit Camplish.com. Again, this is Teacher Maricar and see you in our next video. Bye!